All right, so just about like that is how I want it. And if I look at that, my branch is a bit shorter than the legs are, so I'm going to come up a couple of steps there to make that base. And I'm going to want the base out in front of him because most of the weight's going to be leaning slightly forward. Oh, let's see what I can come up with here. Looks like it's going to have to come up at least a half an inch further than that. So maybe 3 layers. It's a big peanut. Screws are a little long, we'll have to take care of that. I'm going to do a stone coat epoxy finish on the base. Try some new colors. I'm going to start out by painting it here with a espresso. Gonna mist it a little bit with this. All right, I'm gonna mix up some stone coat epoxy. It's even amounts. And set my scale to grams, actually ounces. I have about 1 square foot of a base, so I'm gonna go 1.5 ounces of each. 3 ounces per square foot for this first coat. Scale shuts off too soon. regular popsicle stick here. Makes a little bit of a stir stick. I'm going to add green metallic. About that much, maybe a little bit more. Should be plenty. Before I pour that in there, I want to put a silicone plug in the hole so it doesn't fill up with epoxy. I have a trowel here that's got about 1/8 inch deep cuts in it. And I'm going to put some accent color in it. Using the same colors I use for the base. All right, I'm pretty satisfied with that look. Yeah, first coat of polyurethane's dry. I really don't like the way this looks. I'm disappointed with this. Lines, I really wanted them to not show the ply, so I think I needed to probably block it better with paint. Few bubbles on the bottom that'll have to be cleaned up. I think I'm gonna go back and do some recontouring. I don't like this sharp edge either. I wish I would have sanded better, so I believe I'll redo that first coat and try it again. I think this is a good shape. I've opened up the pores on this end grain again by sanding, and I'm going to use some Bondo as a grain filler and do a thin layer of Bondo around that to fill that up, sand that back off, and then repaint. So the Bondo wasn't exactly what I wanted done. Didn't work like I'd hoped it was going to. I'm using some thin CA adhesive to try to seal the pores on this open grain. All right, I'm going to shoot another coat of the Satin Espresso. Well, that's a lot better. I don't see the grain lines from the end grain, and that's just a single coat. I'm going to do a light sanding on it and probably spray a little bit of the gray Just mist the gray over. All right, I've got another batch of the epoxy mixed up. It is the Stone Coat epoxy, and my paint is all dry. I've changed my spreader to a little thinner spreader. I've actually mixed up less epoxy this time. I had quite a bit of runoff last time. Here's what I came up with for base. This is a single coat of epoxy. I think that's probably going to be fine for what I'm looking for. Turned out pretty good. It's got some brown areas here. Just about what I was looking for. I'm going to flip it over, sand off these drips just a little bit. I'm going to put some kind of material on the base to cover the base anyway, so nothing too much. And then I removed the silicone plug already, left just a little bit of a raise there that I want to kind of bevel down, make sure it doesn't interfere with the cord. Just have a kind of a deburring tool or a beveling tool here. Really made for a drill, but I've got it stuck in a metal handle. I want to protect the base, so I just threw a towel down here. This is a 60 grit flapper sanding disc. I'm using a black flexible rubber material or plastic. It was just some packing material that had come in something I bought a long time ago, and I found it quite useful for a lot of things. In fact, I have a piece of it on my work table. It's big enough for this, so I'm just going to trace out, and this cuts out with scissors. Should work pretty good like that. I will probably glue this into place and then probably put a couple of little felt pads on the bottom just to protect any disc surfaces that it goes onto. Before I do that, I need to get the cord in, get it situated, and get the branch screwed on. Using a little bit of screw wax here to lubricate those. I decided to mix up a little 5-minute epoxy and go ahead and epoxy that branch onto the base. I don't think I'll ever need to remove it. And just to make sure I have a good strong bond there, the screws don't go a tremendous amount up into the branch. So it's pretty strong feeling right now, but before I put the weight of the man on top of it. I'd like to make sure it's bulletproof.